Today I'm going to give you guys my review slash thoughts of one of the most impactful anime movies of all time, arguably even sci-fi films, Akira. There's consistently talk of all the anime films of all time. There are two greatest, Spirited Away and Akira. And one is incredibly mainstream and the other one is incredibly underground. And admittedly, I hadn't seen both. So I recently finally got to see Akira and I needed to simmer on that before I made this video. And if it's your first time here, my name is Samurai Kibiji, in which I have weekly content every single week discussing, anime, games, movies, as well as reactions and fan edits and so on. So if it's your first time here, consider subscribing. So the film Akira, what to even say what the synopsis of this movie is? Seriously guys, this is gonna be a big head turner. I admit I didn't write out this review. I'm gonna completely ad-lib this because this movie, I think no matter how long I simmer on it, it's gonna come out messy. So this movie was made in 1988, or published in 1988. After I watched it, this film really did impact so much, and not even just the anime creators, but even just sci-fi in general. I am honestly really glad I watched this film because I feel like I'm not only as an anime fan, but as a film fan, I felt like I had to watch this movie at some point in my life. And now I get to finally talk about it with you guys. And by the way, if you want to watch it, I watch it on Verve. I am not sponsored by them, but I will say it's an awesome app. They have like Funimation, Crunchyroll, and Rooster Teeth. So many subscriptions. That's how I watch pretty much all my anime. You can click in the referral link down below and it helps me out if you check them out and do start a free trial, which they offer like a 30-day free trial. So check them out in the link down below. That is not a plugin. I'm just simply promoting Verve because I was so happy that this movie was on there because it was hard to come by this movie. So Akira takes place in the year of 2019 and ironically just a year after this video gets published. And to say what it's about without spoiling anything, basically it's in that future world, so you get to see a lot of sci-fi and tech and so on. And if there's an overall theme to this movie, it's about controlling power. There are rebels that are trying to overthrow the government, there's certain cults that are worshiping the power of Akira, and there's even things within the government that's kind of like confliction with each other. Not to mention, yes, there is a physical plot when it comes to power. And that's all I'll tell you. It's in the future, dystopian future, where it's not peaceful, there's a consistent struggle for power and controlling power, whether that's through physical means, mental means, or warfare, and so on. Now, what did I think of this movie? It's so hard for me to say. Legit, when I finished it, the first thing I did was called up my film friend and I just told him I don't know what to make of this film. First off, for its time, the animation in this movie is so freaking good. It's even good in today's standards. And the thing about the entire film is it is seriously rated R. This is not just an anime film about a lot of blood like Princess Mononoke or something, or a lot of cussing. It feels like a rated R movie. Whether it's through, yes, the language, the themes, and I mean the plot themes, the visuals, sometimes sexual. There's one scene in particular, when it comes to the sexual part. Well, there's a lot of stuff in this movie that kids cannot look at. They will have freaking nightmares. It's an incredibly dark movie, and that's the first thing I'll say, is that it doesn't really hit me on a personal level so much. Because on a personal level, I admit, I enjoy more light things. I enjoy more, colors and green and bright. Whereas this movie's very dark and very grim, and it has certain images of even children just super spooky. The main characters that this story follows is Tetsuo and Kaneda. And these two guys are friends, and of course they get separated. There's gonna be incredibly mild spoilers in here because there's so much more to the movie. But Tetsuo basically gets under a certain program that's going to give him these certain powers. And I'm only bringing that up because it's more than half of the movie. And where these powers get involved is where the trippy ass plot goes down. This movie really shows you a lot of imagery and a lot of feelings of, especially Tetsuo as a character. He feels very under a lot of people, especially Kaneda. Kaneda is kind of like a hero he looks up to. If there's a saving grace to this movie, it would probably be Kaneda, because Kaneda, as much as a kind of scumbag he might seem to be, as well as his friends, he really is very passionate with his friends. He feels like they're brothers, I feel like, and he's a really good friend. And he was the one character I felt motivated to follow in this. Whereas Tetsuo is a character that is really, he's given so much power and he feels like he knows what to do with it, but at the same time he doesn't. And I feel like the development to him becoming what he is in the movie was a little bit underwhelming. I didn't get that feeling that, you know, if this guy got power, what would he do with it? I didn't get enough to know of Tetsuo before all this stuff started happening to him. Admittedly, I can't help see this movie through the perspectives of a modern day person, but I admit if I was back in the day watching this, like for its time, this movie would blow me the frick away. The music style even too, like the music styling really goes with everything that's going on. It's a very, I don't even know how to describe it. A very tribal, haunting kind of soundtrack. When I finished this movie, I was like, I feel like I have to watch this movie again to really fully grasp it, because I was so taken back by how much this movie has in it when it comes to the amount of characters, the themes riding through it, the animation, like looking at it through like a 1980s glasses kind of level. I feel like this movie and the original Blade Runner are the two movies that really underground impacted sci-fi as a whole, and Star Wars as that mainstream thing. But this movie is right next to Blade Runner, being like, without these two movies, a lot of things wouldn't have happened today. And the negatives I give it is that when you actually criticize it, yes, the characters aren't very compelling. Honestly, to me, they're not very compelling. And that's the biggest thing that'll get me interested in something, is its characters and how motivated am I to follow them. Admittedly, I didn't really feel a moral to all this except just a sense of power. Like, you know, what do we do with that power and who do we fight for and so on. It's a lot of what do we do with power and what motivates us to get power. At least that's what I took from it, and I know there's so much vagueness in this review. If you've seen the movie, feel free to leave spoilers down below and just press a few enter bars. But for me personally, it didn't grab me. It was kind of a struggle to watch as well. I feel like this movie definitely could have been at least a good 23 minutes shorter, because mainly in the second half, things really start to stretch. And that's all I can really say about this movie, is that I'm really glad I watched it, because now I know how much of an impact this truly had on the industry. As for a grade, it's tough, because like, yeah, on a personal level, I'd probably say a C+, B-, but on a professional level, I'm like a B+, A-. If anything, guys, I would tell you to watch this movie just to have said you've seen Akira, because you have to watch this movie, whether you're an anime or film fan in general. Like, for both of those audiences, Akira is a must-see. And a special shout out to Mr. Matt Scarlett. He's a Super Saiyan God in my club of patrons, and this video was sponsored by him, so thank you so much, Matt, as well as the rest of my patrons. You guys truly make this possible every freaking day. Like, honestly, you really do. And if you guys would like to join them or even just check it out, I would really love it if you click in the description down below. And if it's your first time here, I would love to hear what are your thoughts on Akira, as well as if you enjoy this, give it a thumbs up, and check out the other cards around here. I got a lot of things going on the channel, especially in February, oh my gosh. And as well as subscribe to the channel, in which, like I said, there's weekly content here about things endorsing you to be geek, be proud, be awesome, improve that GPA. That's what I'm gonna call it. The real GPA. So anyways, guys, thank you for watching this. I'll catch you later.